The late night edition of the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Man, for one, I have been under the weather these last couple of days, recuperating for what was an incredible Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. Kept going hard, and then eventually your body just crashes. And so the last couple of days, I have been kind of in hiatus mode. Starting to feel better here tonight, and glad to be back in studio with you, Richard. I know I missed Sports Vision this morning. Looking forward to be back with you and DJ tomorrow morning. Thank you for filling in for me as always, man. Sometimes you just need a good day of just recuperating and getting better. But late night edition here, Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show.
Yeah, Thrift, glad that you're feeling better. I can't wait to dive into the sports. We've had some fantastic volleyball games, softball games. I mean, we were live streaming a triple header of volleyball the other day, and then we've got, for the first time in Georgia Alabama Sports Live history, 5 football games. I am excited. Week 3 in high school football.
I am too, Richard, and as you made mention, we have a great slate of football games on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and we have 6 broadcasts, but 5 games we're going to be at, Richard, and we'll talk about that there tonight. We also drop our softball and volleyball rankings. We got some shakeups because we had some big matchups. Number 1, Pacelli took on undefeated Calvary. We'll talk about that last night. Number 1, Harris County took on number 3, Northside in softball today. Major shakeup in that game. And then tomorrow we got flag football, first one of the season, which is Smith Station taking on what used to be Jefferson Davis. And then we got 2 more volleyball games. And then Friday we got 6 football broadcasts. And then Saturday we'll say, hey, let's recuperate. It's Labor Day weekend, and we'll be back in Monday night to do the show. So we're going to recap all that here, preview the games we're going to be at football-wise and more. So I'm excited about tonight's show. We're presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, the original sponsor.
The OG.
The OG presenter. Coca-Cola, their deep ties to the schools, but it's the original timeless taste of a Coke. I literally love Coke so much that it's just what I always get every time I go somewhere. Sweet tea used to be my calling, but I've been the Coke man from now on. Love Coke. Love what they represent in this community. Thank you again to the Coke brand for believing in us, and I appreciate everything they've done for becoming a sponsor, Richard.
Yeah, and I'm a Diet Coke fan myself because, you get the same taste as Coke with 0 calories. And when you get to be my age, you got to watch out your calorie intake and the carbs and everything. It's great having a Diet Coke with your meal and no calories. So that's why I love Diet Coke.
Well, also, Houston Clinic, Jack Houston Memorial Hospital. Houston Clinic, we appreciate their timeless support of everything here locally. When you think trainers, they're almost at every single school.
Oh, no question.
Houston Clinic, they have helped so many athletes overcome so many different injuries. They got the top doctors in the area. They got the top doctors really in the country. Mark Baker and his staff do an amazing job. Jack Houston Memorial Hospital in their injury timeout. The Jack Houston Memorial Hospital is a beautiful hospital right there off the highway. Pass it every time I'm heading over to Glenwood when you get off on River Chase Drive. So thank you to them for their support of what we do, Richard. And, of course, Kinetic Credit Union.
Yeah, we appreciate all of our sponsors. Kinetic Credit Union, when it comes to banking, I mean, that's one of the top-notch banks, and they really great interest rates, loans, and whatever you need for your banking needs. And the Jack Houston Memorial Hospital, and we appreciate all the trainers that work for the Houston Clinic. And I tell you, they really take care of their student athletes, and they truly care about these student athletes, making sure that they recover from their injuries and they're able to respond on the field, because sometimes injuries do happen in sports. And so they have wonderful trainers from the Houston Clinic that are right there on the field.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back from break, we'll have more here. We'll go straight into what has happened so far around the area, drop the rankings, and talk about what's coming up this Friday night on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show.
For the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long-distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers, for old friends. Coca-Cola, for everyone.
Hey for a new Chevrolet from Glenn Smith in Opelika. Hit the road in a rugged new full-size Chevy Silverado with discounts up to $12,250 off MSRP. New Chevy Traverse, the spacious and comfortable ride with affordable pricing. Now with discounts up to $4,000 off MSRP. People from all over the USA are coming to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Get ready to drive and get ready to
Welcome back, everyone, here to the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Thrift Behringer, Big Rich. All right, Rich, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's talk about where we've been this week. We had a couple coaches show, but really it's been volleyball heavy. Monday, we had Glenwood and Brookstone go down to the wire. Brookstone was able to beat them. Tuesday, we had 3 big volleyball matchups, Northside and Brookstone. Northside won. You were there for Russell County Beulah, which
Russell
County did win. And then I had the game of the night, which was Pacelli and Calvary, and Pacelli swept Calvary, and they continue being ranked number 1. Tonight we had softball, Northside upsetting and taking down the number 1 defending champion. We'll get into that game here in a moment, Richard. And then tomorrow we got some more volleyball, and of course 5 football games on Friday. Let's start volleyball right now. I think the team obviously is Pacelli, Richard. They have been absolute lights out. Chris, let's go up those volleyball rankings if you can. When looking at these, let's start with number 10, Russell County. Just really getting their season started, man. Got a big win over Beulah. We got them in our top 10. Spencer, same thing. They haven't played many games. They're number 9. How about the Kendrick Cherokees? He is 6-2 on the season. Great job, the Kendrick Cherokees, not he, are 6-2 on the year. And then Columbus High has probably played one of the toughest schedules in the area. They come in 7-12.
Yeah, if you look at Columbus and Northside's records, they've played a lot of 5A, 6A schools. They've been in tournaments during the weekend. I like where the rankings are. Kendrick is 6-2. Coach Angela Long's done a phenomenal job. Remember, they made the playoffs last year. Spencer, they're right where they are because they went to the second round of the playoffs last year. We don't know about Smith Station, but we're going to find out about Smith Station because they're going to play Russell County tomorrow. And maybe Smith Station can get into our rankings. Glenwood, 3-6. I mean, they've had an early start in their season, but they've faced some tough opponents. But how about the Harris County Lady Tigers? 10-2. They have had a phenomenal season. That's why we've got them at number 4. So we put them right behind the top 3 teams that are championship caliber teams that could win a championship in the GIAA.
And honestly, I may even move them a little bit higher, but I'm going to keep them at number 4 right now. But Calvary took a kind of a setback, undefeated, as they took on the toughest team of their schedule and season so far in Pacelli, and they got swept. Game 3, went down. Set 3 went down to the wire. Brookstone, though, had a tough loss against Northside. I talked to Lee Halverson. He knows he's got a young team. He's still got Carson Galligan, but he's still having young players, a freshman as a setter. He's like, man, that's like starting a quarterback, a true freshman quarterback. And she's done an amazing job getting better each and every week. He thinks by season's end, it'll be Brookstone back in the state championship. And then the team that is the best team in this area, and I don't think it's a question, is Pacelli. Shannon Menifee is probably the best volleyball player in the state.
No question.
Resnick is absolutely sensational. Anna Dew, maybe the best setter in our area. This team is lights out. Kirsten Trotter has done an amazing job stepping in for Coach Jillian Schoenborn and helping them continue their dominant ways, this team looks like another team, a team that's probably going to go back-to-back. So here's our top 10 for volleyball, Richard.
Yeah, if you look at Pacelli's 19-2 record, it's because they play in a lot of tournaments. What they have built, winning that championship last year, Coach Jillian Schoenburn really set the tone, set the foundation, has moved on, and now you have a coach like Kristen Trotter who's really carried the torch and has not skipped a beat. And they are committed to volleyball, and you have seen it, and it has played out on the volleyball court as Pacelli dominant once again. But right behind them, as they've got to be in the toughest region in the GIAA, is Brookstone and Calvary. And I expect these three teams to battle it out in the GIAA playoffs. We might even see some possible semifinal matchups. Remember, the championship is going to be at Shorter University up in Rome this year. And that's the goal, is to try to get to Rome, and possibly we could see them in the championship like we did last year at the Heritage School with Pacelli and Brookstone.
Here's our top 10 for volleyball, and looking forward to having some more matchups coming up tomorrow night.
Excited.
Glenwood, actually, the number 5 team, takes on number 6
Columbus,
number 7 Columbus tomorrow night. And then Smith Station, who is not on this list, they take on number 10 Russell County. So they win that, they could be working their way back up as well. And then don't forget, flag football starts next month, and we'll be dropping those rankings. So we got flag football, we got volleyball, we got softball, and we got football rankings all on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Well, let's throw up the top 5 in softball, and everybody's like, well, why is it top 5? Or if it needs to be top 10. No, because Alabama does not play softball in the fall. They play it in the spring, and with that being the case, I just feel like we only have 12 Georgia schools playing. 2 teams are going to be left out each month. I just don't think kind of waters down the rankings.
Absolutely.
So we want to go more top 5. Number 5, the Cougars of Brookstone, 4-1. Great job by the Cougars in their start. We've seen them a couple times here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. So great to see them doing amazing things. They come in at number 5. Number 4, the Columbus Blue Devils, 3-4 on the year. But I still think the Blue Devils will make a deep run and are my favorite in their region to become region champs. Number 3, undefeated, and I could hear a case if you want to put them number 1. Really, the top 3 kind of interchangeable. Calvary comes in at number 3. Harris County, defending champion. They were number 1 last week. We felt like we got to drop them down. And the number 1 team, how about Sydney Carastory and her Northside Patriots? Bring me on camera, Chris, and then we'll go back to the rankings here in a minute because I do want to talk about them. 1-0. The home run was hit by Richard
Cassidy Anderson.
And the Alex Quinney All-State Good Hands Player of the Game.
That would be Weatherly.
Yes, and Weatherly was sensational on the mound. She gave up 0 runs and was absolutely fantastic. Great call by Mike Frost. What a game, 1-0, pitcher's battle. But Sydney Carastory's team, they were underdogs coming into this. Harris County returned a ton of talent from last year's team that won it all. For them to take down Harris County, they're number 1, and you can sleep on Sydney Carastory and the Patriots all you want, those Lady Patriots all you want. She's done an amazing job, and in year 2, she's establishing herself, taking on for the legend of Brandon Jenkins and taking them down. And early on in this season, I like where this team's heading, and Patriots come in at ranked number 1. Big win over Harris County, but they will play again later on in the season at Harris County.
And you could tell we actually made sure that our rankings were up to date after that game because we did have Harris County number 1 last week. They're going to play each other again, and I expect these 2 teams to battle it out when they get to South Commons down there in Columbus. But if you look at Calvary, dominant in the GIAA, they have a very young team led by Maddie Davis, who led the team in home runs. Kendall Gum, how about the job she has done on the mound? And then we put Columbus there because they got to the Sweet 16 last year. But they're also in a region where Shaw's undefeated right now. They're going to end up playing Shaw. Hardaway is doing pretty good. They got a winning record. And so you got some teams that, if it breaks go their way, they could end up making it into the playoffs. And then how about the job that Brookstone has done? 4-1. They have not played a whole lot of games. We could have maybe put Pacelli in there too. I mean, Brookstone and Pacelli are trying to rebuild their softball programs. So it's great to see, and there's a reason why we only put 5 teams in there. So that's because, Alabama doesn't play softball in the fall.
All right, there's our top 5. Number 1, Northside. What an amazing job by them. Number 2, Harris County. Number 3, Calvary. Number 4, Columbus. And number 5, Brookstone. Can't wait to see how the rest of the season plays out. We're about to get into the heart of the season. Just out on the top 5, Pacelli has had a good start to this year as well. So we'll see how the rest of the season, like I said, plays out with these teams. We're going to take a break. When we come back from break, we'll start previewing what we got on the high school football slate this Friday night. 5 locations. We did something last week. We did 4, which is what we did last year one time. This year, we're doing 5. 5
broadcasts. Games. Wow.
We'll talk about why we're crazy right after this break.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
It's a great day for a new Chevrolet from Glenn Smith in Opelika. Hit the road in a rugged new full-size Chevy Silverado with discounts up to $12,250 off MSRP. New Chevy Traverse, the spacious and comfortable ride with affordable pricing. Now with discounts up to $4,000 off MSRP. People from all over the USA are coming to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Get ready to drive and get ready to smile.
Live show, Thrift Behringer, Richard Holdridge, and we have a great show in store for you today. Love the schools that support us and what we do, and we appreciate them allowing us to continue covering all their athletes and shining a light on their hard work on what they're trying to accomplish. Let's talk real quickly, Richard, where we're going to be this Friday night. We're doing 5 different games. We'll first start with Brookstone. The Cougars come in ranked number 2 in our rankings, Rich. Ian Headley's team have been off to an incredible start. They take on Mount Vernon, a GHSA school. We're expecting, I think, another good Cougars performance. Right now they're averaging 50 points per game.
Yeah, they are off to a hot start, 2-0, and they're led by their junior quarterback, Broughton Branch, who really has been phenomenal. He's got a great ground game with Samuel LeBoy and Dylan Terry. And I think Brookstone gets the job done against a Mount Vernon team. They were supposed to play last year, but the game got rained out. But Brookstone is off to this hot start, and it's because of that offense is humming. And then you have a defensive player like Harrison Baker. You're able to get the job done. What they did against Valwood, I mean, to go in there, to put up 51 points. This game was tied at 37. They score that touchdown, then Harrison Baker gets that defensive touchdown to ice the game. I like Brookstone in this game.
Moving on from Brookstone, we're going to go to Calvary. You talked with Emmanuel Brunson on the Calvary Coaches Show today, 48-6 in week 1 with a win. They had a bye last week. They take on Mount DeSales. I think it's going to be another smash mouth game. They're going to win this one by 35, I think. Dominant performance, and you'll see the Calvary Christian Knights 2-0 after this Friday night.
Well, Coach Brunson has got a quarterback in Braxton Wilkinson who had 5 touchdown passes to 5 different receivers in a 48-6 drubbing of Terrell County. Now they take on a Mount DeSales team that they only lost 7-6 on the road last year. That place at Calvary Christian, Lynn McWilliams Field, is going to be fired up. As you saw on the Calvary Coaches Show earlier today, we were live right in the bleachers. That place is going to be lively. There's going to be standing room only. And I know that the Calvary Christian Knights are going to be excited about their home opener. It is going to be a blackout, so the students are going to be encouraged to wear black just to try to intimidate the opponent. Mount DeSales comes in with an 0-2 record. Calvary just trying to build some momentum, and they had a bye, so they were able to get an extra week to prepare for Mount DeSales as they just came off of practice earlier today. So
7:30 tomorrow. 7:30 Friday. Brookstone.
So excited. Yeah.
And also Calvary. Both their games are then. Where else are we going to be? So we got Calvary. We got Brookstone. We're also going to be at Glenwood, and the Gators are hosting the Elba, a team last year that Alvin Henderson was one of the top running backs in the state.
Yes, sir.
Elba's still going to be a really good team, but the Gators, I thought, battled back last week, being down 2014. When I couldn't talk about Ryan Nelson, they just made mistakes early on. They got down too big, but the team didn't quit. The fact they came back, and really the momentum killer was they had a chance to score right before the half. They would have made it a 14-point game. They could have probably tied it. And that last touchdown they scored with 8 seconds left. But he thinks his team's still really good. Clarity threw for over 245 yards. Did not run the ball really well. And he wants to get back to Ryan Nelson Glenwood football, which is being balanced between running and passing. I think the Gators are going to bounce back in a big way here on Friday night. Again, we'll pick these games part of high school game day, but that's at 8 p.m. on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Yeah, Glenwood hoping to get a bounce-back win against Elba at the Swamp, Sammy Howard Field. I like the progression of Trey Clarity as a quarterback. And they've still got Carter Judah. He can run the football. Cal Lawrence, good possession receiver. And I do believe in that Coach McConnell-led defense. They did a great job shutting out Valley in the second half. And I think they take care of business against Elba. And the fans are just going to be excited that they are back in the Swamp. And if you haven't been to a Glenwood football game, it is definitely an event. There's a lot of fans, passionate fans, that pack that place, and it's going to be exciting.
It is going to be 100% exciting, man. I can't wait for that. Smith Station and Valley, maybe the game of the night, man. A 1-0 Valley taking on the biggest talk and story of last week. How about Smith Station Panthers are hosting Pantherland, and Panther Nation are going to be going crazy at Panther Stadium. Blair Harrison cannot wait to be there Friday night, 8 p.m. Valley got a lot of athletes, but if Smith Station plays mistake-free football and runs it like they did with Cohen Thomas, Jeremiah Black, Sexton, and the defense plays lights out, could we dare say Smith Station starts 2-0 heading into the Backyard Brawl next Friday night, 8 p.m. Georgia Alabama Sports Live. They host Valley this Friday night.
Yeah, this is going to be a very good matchup. Valley comes in with Brandes Eason, who averages 161 yards a game. And Caden Foreman is going to be the quarterback. He's taking over for Galvin Goss. But Smith Station's going to have to play smash mouth football, play physical, run the football. We talked to Coach Blair Harrison this morning on the Sports Vision's morning show, and just trying to get back to the smash mouth football, get those players to buy into Coach Harrison's system, because quite frankly, Smith Station hasn't been in this position in a while. They're 1-0 for the first time since 2019. And man, oh man, that whole community will be buzzing. If they're able to get a win against Valley, which I think they can win, this is a game that they're capable of winning. Valley's a 5A school, Smith Station's a 7A school. If Smith Station goes into the backyard brawl 2-0, look out. That is going to be the talk of the town, and Smith Station is going to be so pumped up to try to go into that backyard brawl 2-0 with maybe shock the area, especially the way they have been playing. I'm just so proud of the Smith Station community.
And finally, what we think could be the game of the week, even though Harris County took a bit of a blow, getting beat 42-0 against Shreve County. I don't think that happens again. I think Tommy Watts' team's going to come out more prepared than ever. Carver better not overlook them, but I don't think so, because Carver's coming in with the vengeance, because that was their only loss last year, Richard. Harris County and Carver, 7 p.m. I'll be there for that one, man. And I'm expecting big things from Harris County. I'm expecting them to bounce back in a big way. I just think there's too much talent on Carver's team to slow them down, and they look unbelievably dominant and unbeatable last week against Spencer. It's going to be fun. It's a contrast of two styles. Obviously, it was a great game last year. Looking forward to being at Otis Spencer Stadium, 7 p.m., Carver and Harris County on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Well, I'm going to make a prediction. This is going to be more points than 15-6. This Carver team could be the most explosive team offensively that we've seen in a long time, putting up 51 points against Whitewater, 48 against Spencer. I think that this is strength on strength. This is Carver's dynamic offense going up against the physical play of Harris County. Harris County trying to regroup after losing big to Troup County last week. I think that you're going to start seeing Harris County get back to their roots. Physical play, the way they beat Carver last year. Carver remembers that's the last time they lost.
Yep.
And then you're going to have strength on strength. And I think that this is going to be a little bit closer of a game. But right now, I don't find anybody beating Carver right now. They are the hottest team in the area, not just in our area, but also in the state of Georgia. They're number one on a lot of people's polls, and I think they take it to Harris County. But, Coach Tommy Watson is going to get Harris County prepared for this. It's also a hostile environment, too. Harris County and those fans have to travel from Hamilton to Otis Spencer Stadium.
They're definitely going to travel.
They are going to travel, but it's still going to be a hostile environment for them.
No doubt. And I expect it to be a fun environment indeed for all these teams. So those are the 5 games we're going to be at. We also got the halftime update show with Big Rich, presented by the Beck Center. We got high school game day. We got high school scoreboard show presented by the Beck Center as well at 11 o'clock. It's a busy night for me and Big Rich on Friday night, and then we'll
to top it all off. You got Auburn and Baylor playing too.
And then Auburn and Baylor will be on my phone while
you're gonna be. It's gonna be on my phone too, and I'm gonna be watching Georgia Tech and Colorado.
Well, you just got fired. You shouldn't have told me that. Your eyes better be on the halftime update show. By the way, Clingstones. Right now, let's pull up the standings real quick, Richard. I want to end with some Clingstones talk.
Let's talk Stones.
So the Stones were a half game back, Richard, before they played last night in their standings. And right now, pulling up the standings, they are 2 games back. So they lost one against Rocket City. They are 500. Pensacola is a game above 500. And the number 1 team right now in the Southern League South, because remember, Biloxi already clinched, is Montgomery. And Montgomery Biscuits, 28-24. Good thing, though, for Columbus is the last 2 weeks of the season. One of them is next week, last homestand against Montgomery
Biscuits.
And then they end the season on the road at Pensacola. So they have everything in front of them. They control their own destiny, as does Pensacola and Montgomery. But they need to keep winning, and they don't need to get too far back. Right now, they're at 2 games. If they can maybe get it within 1, I really am excited about next week at Synovus Park for the final home game of the season. So the Clingstones, we're cheering them on right now, man.
Yeah, and right now it is the top of the 8th inning, and they have 1 out, 2 runners on. They trail 2-1 to Rocket City. I mean, the Rocket City's got the worst record in the Southern League. I mean, the Clingstones need to win these games, so they don't need help with because they run the table. They got everything in front of them. They've got Montgomery and they got Pensacola to finish off the season. If they can get a good series with Rocket City, they control their own destiny. But if they don't, then they're going to have to go on a complete win streak because you don't want to see yourself 4 back, 5 back when you're getting ready to play Montgomery and Pensacola respectively. So we're cheering on the Clingstones. Hopefully they can pull out this win. Currently down by 1 run in the 8th.
Well, we're going to go get off this stream and go watch that stream
Absolutely.
and cheering on the Clingstones.
Well, I'll be driving home listening to Jack Johnson on Sports Vision's 92.1, though.
Thank you again to Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, our original presenting sponsor. You can always go, Richard, to glennsmith.com. Check out all the inventory and why everybody travels across the country to come buy their car and truck from there, Richard. I also want to say thank you to Coca-Cola. And Glenn Smith, Coca-Cola I love Coke, Diet Coke, Coke Zero. I mean, you can't go wrong with anything Coke related. And we appreciate the Coke Company for sponsoring what we do here at Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And, of course, Kinetic Credit Union and then the Jack Houston Memorial Hospital and Houston Clinic. Thank y'all so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for more volleyball and flag football. First one of the season. And then on Friday, 5 football games. Part of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We'll see you tomorrow morning on the Sports Vision Morning Show. See you next time on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.